Hello everyone, today we're going to talk about how teachers can use mnemonic strategies to make formative assessment more effective in English classes. Mnemonics are memory techniques that help students remember vocabulary, grammar, and expressions in an easier and more meaningful way.
The process starts with a short diagnostic activity to see what the students already know. Then, the teacher introduces different mnemonic techniques like acronyms, songs, mind maps, or visual images. Later, students apply them in short activities, and the teacher uses 3 tasks to observe, guide, and give feedback during the learning process.
Hi everyone, I am Diana. I use acronyms to help students remember processes or lists. For example, when teaching adjectives, I introduce the acronym SHAPE. Stands for size, height, age, personality, and emotion. Each letter reminds students of a category of adjectives they can use to describe people or objects. During formative assessment, I ask students to create short descriptions using at least one adjective from each category. This allows me to evaluate their understanding, promote creativity, and provide specific feedback on their language use.
Hi, my name is Maria Jose and my mnemonic strategy is visualization. Here students create mental images to remember new words or grammar rules. For example, when we're learning vocabulary about food, they imagine or draw a meal. This helps me assess how well they connect the meaning and imagines, and not just for memorize.
Hi, I'm Jocelyn, and I love using rhymes and songs, which are mnemonic strategies that help students remember information through rhythm and sound. These tools make learning fun and support long-term memory. For example, when we learn the past tense, students sing.
Talk about the past. It's easy and fast.
Then I ask them to create their own rhyme using verbs like play, wash, or jump. As they perform it, I can see if they understand and apply the rule correctly. This allows me to give immediate feedback and guide their learning. With mnemonics, assessment becomes interactive, enjoyable, and meaningful because students remember the rule not by memorizing, but by connecting it with rhythm and creativity.
I am going to explain how we can use Chomsky as a mnemonic strategy in formative assessment. Chunky means dividing big information into small and easy parts, so students can understand and remember better. Let's look at simple examples. First, in vocabulary, students can group new words by category. For example, apple, bananas, orange for fruits, dog, cat, rabbit for animals, and car, bus, train for transportation. Teachers can use colorful flashcards or pictures to help students see these small groups and make connections easily. By using Chomsky informative assessment, teachers can observe how students organize information, give feedback, and help them improve their learning habits in a fun and meaningful way.
Okay, now I will use a mnemonic strategy called the keyword method. This strategy helps students remember new words through sound connections. The topic to use in this strategy is animals. And for example, we have the word duck. Sounds like ducky. So I imagine a ducky with a dog on his hat, for example. Another example we have is a snack, which sounds like a snack. I picture a snake eating some snacks. Using these keywords, students can remember and use the words correctly. This also serves as a formative check because remembering the words shows learning.
Hello everyone, my name is Natalie. I use mind maps and a mnemonic and formative tool. Students create visual maps to connect vocabulary or grammar ideas. For example, If the topic is the simple present tense, students can make a mind map with a range for affirmative, negative, and interrogative forms, including examples for each. During formative assessment, I can see how they organize concepts, identify errors early, and help them make connections between topics. In this example, the teacher can evaluate how students organize grammar structure, if they apply the correct verb forms and auxiliaries, how clearly they connect examples and rules, and their ability to explain relationship between the branch.
Now, my mnemonic strategy is acrostic, which is a technique where we create a phrase or sentence and each word starts with a letter that helps us remember something. It's like a fun memory trick. For example, to remember the days of the week, we can use the phrase, some monkeys take walks to find snacks. Each letter stands for a day of the week. In this case, we have S, Sunday, M, Monday, T, Tuesday, W, Wednesday, T, Thursday, F, Friday, and S, Saturday. It's important that in formative assessment, I use acrostic to help students organize information into small, manageable parts, making learning easier and more fun.
Hello, I'm Ray. My favorite mnemonic strategy is storytelling because I ask students to share history using new words, grammar, and vocabulary while listening. I evaluate what they learn and apply what they learned, and this assessment continues naturally and meaningful.